Hey there, it's Mitzi. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing part 2 of my February TBR. Now I split this into 2 parts because I was afraid I would get too long with this, and I might not, but I was worried that I would babble on here and you'd be like, what in the world she's talking about, and be like, okay, I'm bored with this. So anyway, I have already shared my February TBR for challenges and the different things that I'm going to be reading during the month of February. But I also have to spin the wheel to decide on what I want to read for my book cart and the books that were gifted to me. Now, I saw at the beginning of this year, it might have been, did she put that up in December? I think she put it up in January. I'm not sure. The times just kind of blending together for me. But Krista over at Books and Jams, she shared a video of a new way that she is spinning her wheels. She's made several wheels, I think 1 through 6, and she's spinning the wheel to decide on what to read each month. And I just love it. And I love spinning the wheel. So what I decided to do was go through all of my books and decide on 6 categories that I would spin the wheel for. However, my priority is this book cart and my gifted books, because if you gave me a book, I want to make sure I read that first. So I have been going through all of them and working this out. So what I decided to do, because it took me forever, y'all, to get my 6 categories. I was like, okay, what do I want to read? And it took me 2 weeks just to decide that. I don't know why, but it did. So what I decided to do was, for the first wheel, I put on number 1 wheel all of the books that were gifted to me. And then the second wheel, the number 2 wheel, all the books on my book cart. The others are other categories. I'm not going to talk about those today because I'm not choosing anything from those today. February is our shortest month, and I have a lot that I need to, first of all, catch up on, because I have a couple of things I didn't finish in January. Bleak House, for one, is taking me a lot longer, of course, because it's Charles Dickens and it's Bleak House. It's a long book, and I don't want to rush that. I want to take my time. And so I have that, plus a couple of other things, and I have several things that I am helping with during February. So I don't have time to read a lot of books during February. So I decided I would just choose books for the readathons, and then choose spin the wheel for my book cart and the gifted book. So that means I'm going to do like I did in the past and spin the wheel for each one of those. However, I've already kind of got it set up, because what I had done before was, on my book cart, the first shelf was gifted books, but after Christmas it took over the cart. So I ended up putting all those books in a spinner and putting them on the shelf, and then having more books on my book cart. So I've kind of swapped some things around. Okay, so I say all that to say I'm going to, from here on out, I'm going to use the spinner method that Krista came up with. So thank you to Krista for coming up with this method, because it's brilliant and I love it. But today I'm only going to spin my first wheel and my second wheel. My first wheel is for the gifted book. So let's do that one first. Let's see what we get. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what book I will be reading. And it is To Live Again by Catherine Marshall. Okay, great. Okay, so To Live Again is right here on my shelf. And I'm pretty sure that Elizabeth over at Lizzie Faye Loves Books just sent me this book at Christmas time. So thank you to Elizabeth for sending this. This will be another Catherine Marshall. I love her books. I actually read Julie by Catherine Marshall, because I read that in January. And so this will be a good one to read for February. So thank you to Elizabeth for gifting this one. And I will be reading this for my gifted book in February. All right, so now we need to spin for my book cart. I have my book cart right here beside me. And I have rearranged these books to make them fit after taking all the gifted books off. So let's spin the wheel for that one. Okay, so let's see what we get for the book cart. The Mother-in-Law. Ooh, I don't know. I picked this up a while back because everybody told me to read it. We'll see how I do on this. So The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth will be my other one. I don't know anything about this except that it is supposed to be more of a suspense thriller type book. And I haven't read one of those lately, so I'll try it and we'll see. So let me know if you've read To Live Again by Catherine Marshall or The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth. Now, these are two totally different kinds of books, but I'm there for it. So I'm ready to try these and see what I think. But let me know if you've read those. Let me know if you've read any Sally Hepworth because I'm interested to try some. I have picked up just about every library sale has had one, and I've picked up several of hers, but again, I haven't tried any. And I've been a little afraid. Are they really scary? I hope not. I've heard that they were just more suspenseful. So let me know in the comments if you've read any of these. And you know, it's worth a try. I'll try a couple of chapters and see what I think. So those are my first two book choices for the spinners this year. I'm excited to use this new way of choosing books using spinners. So again, thank you, Krista, for that, because I have different categories and I'll go into more depth about that later. January just flew by and I was trying to reorganize everything, so that's why I didn't do a video on it. But I didn't want to pick anything again for February for those, so stay tuned. And during March, I will definitely be doing that because I have some great wheels prepared, ready to go, and ready for a spin. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.